everyone. Welcome to Sprinkle Some Love with a Cause by Trisha Mullen. We are live in the Relevnt chat room where I am waiting for a guest to join. We've done a couple podcasts with this guest in the past. Her name is Kyley. She's currently in the hospital again, and this seems to be like a reoccurring issue for her. I definitely want her to join us tonight. I'm just waiting for her to get into the Relevnt app. And for those of you who don't have Relevnt, you should definitely download it and search for us under Sprinkle Some Love with a Cause by Trisha Mullen. Welcome to Sprinkle Some Love with a Cause. I'm so glad you're here tonight and we figured this out.
Yes, I am glad to.
Definitely. Can you turn your volume up on your phone just a tad bit?
Yes, I can.
Perfect.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody can hear you. So I've had you on previously, Kyley. I know this platform's kind of new, but we've done podcasts in the past together. So for those of you who don't know, she suffers from Barterson syndrome and gastroparesis and epilepsy. And recently, she's had a heart attack and also has found herself in the hospital with some new injuries to her left arm. So on our other podcasts, we've talked about in the past, like all of her trials and tribulations that she's been through. So what happened with this new hospital visit, girl? Give us the 411. What happened?
Trisha.
Yes.
For some reason, it's copying everything you said before.
And what do you mean?
So, it just repeated the whole intro.
Oh, it's like echoing?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you're push and play. You were still push and play on the previous one where I had posted a few minutes ago waiting for you.
Okay.
Maybe multiple ones are playing right now for you. Let me just remove, I can't remove it while.
It's good now. I'm good now.
Okay, perfect.
Alright. So, I am, currently in the hospital. I got here on October 25th.
So October 25th, you arrived at the hospital. And what was going on that day?
Yes. So I came in because I was having nausea, vomiting. I kept having on and off seizures.
Okay.
Everything we tried was not working. Then I started with a severe migraine, which didn't help the seizures at all. So what else that happened was when I came in, they found out that I had with my shoulder blade, it was very uncomfortable. So I don't know if I'm saying this wrong, but this admission, they diagnosed me with rotator cuff tear.
Okay, a rotator cuff tear. That's new to me, to be honest, because that's like not something I'm fully, but it sounds like you tore a ligament, basically, to sum it up.
Yes, basically. So on my arm that I have the Picc line in.
Okay, and currently you have a Picc line because of antibiotics and GP, correct? Because you also have another condition that needs that. Can you kind of give the audience a little bit of idea of why you have the Picc line?
Yeah, of course. So I am on the Picc line because I do infusions. So with the bag of the potassium, instead of doing little bags, they do is bigger bags, and it's over like 6, 8, 12 hours.
Okay.
And they mix that with saline, mag, and potassium all mixed in one bag.
Okay.
So with that is I could not keep any food down. You know, with GP, if we're in a flare up, we end up in the hospital.
Yes, it's horrible. Lord, horrible. So, for
So,
those of you who don't know what GP is as well, which most of the audience from our regular podcast definitely knows what GP is, but for those of you on Relevnt who are live with us, GP is paralyzation of the digestive system. That includes the stomach and as well as many other stages, depending on the patient, how far the paralyzation goes. So go ahead back to your story, hon. I'm sorry. I just wanted them to understand what chronically ill GP, like how that does and what it affects how it affects us, you know?
yeah. So, going about what you just said about how it affects us. So when I first started, when I came in, I was not feeling well at all. I started with spiking a fever, which, you know, with us, it's not good if we spike a fever if we have a line in us.
Okay, because that's going to cause higher risk for infection.
Yes. So what that is, they ended up at home. I tested, of course, my temperature and everything. The highest it went, it was 101, 102. So, of course, I took Tylenol. I did the whole 9 yards. Cool bath, all of it. Not it went down a little bit, but then went back up. So when I came in on the 25th, a couple of days before Halloween, I ended up having an infection. They found out that I had an infection in my arm where my line was.
And how did your arm look when you first arrived to the hospital? Because I know how it looks now, but I'm trying to give the audience an idea of working your way up. So when you first arrived at the hospital, what could you do with your left arm? Is it your left arm? Because in the videos when we video chat, it looks like your left.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happened is I could normally move it, but the time going up to it, I started having sharp stabbing pain in my arm, in your like top of your shoulder.
Okay.
Like near the armpit area.
Alrighty. By where your lipnoids would be. Like the lipnoids under your arm?
Yes.
Okay.
So above it, I had swollen shoulder blade. Like my whole shoulder was swollen.
Alrighty.
Well, now I am in, I took it off for now so I can rest for the night. But before I go to sleep, I'm putting back my brace. So they ended up giving me an arm brace. So a sling.
Okay.
So every time before bed, I have to put the sling on before I sleep. Because they are worried that it will, again, pop out of socket.
True. Possibly. If it's not healed, I mean, that's an option that would happen, especially if you had a seizure while you were sleeping. It would be harder to control your body because you don't have control, and it would be likely to pop out the first time you throw yourself or your body throws yourself to the floor.
I agree. And so one thing I wanted to mention to anybody that is struggling with weight gain, one thing I found maybe that other people might be able to try out, you gotta speak to your doctors, but I would try to get Ensure Clear. You can get it online. On Amazon, you can order it. It literally is like a juice Ensure. So what I've been doing because of my weight loss from being with the GP,
Okay, so how much weight loss for
I
the audience who doesn't know? Would you say you've lost since before your diagnosis till now?
all right. So I've been diagnosed for quite a while.
Yes,
So this past couple of months, I lost within between 10 to 15 pounds.
Okay. That's quite a bit
And
for
that
you.
was like for in between a couple of months.
And what was your beginning weight before losing that? What did you weigh before losing the 15?
I weighed 120, 130.
Okay.
And now I'm slowly getting back to the weight. But that's also with the help of Ensure. I don't do good, we don't do good with the Ensure shakes.
No, because there's a lot of potassium in them, and they're just real thick.
But with me, I need the potassium, but with it being so thick, it's hard for me to digest, So I found you can even order it on Amazon. If people want, I can take a picture and post it on the group.
Yeah, send it to me. I have like an Amazon list of like referred things where I can send a link, and it has a whole list of awesome things. I can add that to it.
Yeah, and one thing that I do with this, if you get it, first of all, you need to make sure you have ice in your freezer. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you can put this in the fridge, make it cold, but then put ice over it, and it will be perfect, like temperature.
Okay.
You want
I
it
get
ice
that.
cold. And you can always put it in the freezer.
So I got
get like a slushy.
Awesome. So I got another question. So how is your shoulder today? Like, I know when I looked at it, it was still bruised. So, and you're still in the hospital. So what's the current plan? What's the verdict here? What are they doing?
All right. So right about now, we are keeping on top of pain management because of where it is. We're keeping on pain management. I'm taking by mouth pain meds.
Okay.
So I can get 2 different kinds of pain meds. So for different times though. One is they're both pills. One I can get every 4 hours, and one is like every maybe 2 or 3 hours. So we are managing the pain as much as we can.
Okay. Are they also still monitoring your seizures?
Yes. So when I was home, I was having quite a bit of seizure activity.
Okay.
What we wondered is if I was even absorbing the Keppra.
Oh, okay.
Because I was also in a GP flare.
Have you ever been on Dilantin?
No, I have never even heard of Dilantin.
So after my mother-in-law couldn't digest the Keppra, and it was no longer stopping or blocking the seizures like an alpha seizure med would, her body just quit dissolving it and just quit. It just one day rejected it and just said, I had enough of you, Keppra. I don't want to take you no more. And her body just quit allowing it to work. Well, then they put her on Dilantin, and Dilantin worked for a really good time, for quite a long time for her, but it was so important to make sure her body was digesting it, and every couple weeks stay up on top of the levels, because when the body isn't digesting it, so whenever the seasons change, your hormones change, and when your hormones change, that's what breaks down like a lot of stuff. So in your body, that's seizure related. So when your body's breaking down more or less, think of like a teeter-totter, you kind of need to manage your level. Well, with a pill, it's kind of only dose by dose. And with Dilantin, it's a liquid form, so they can do it milligram by milligram or teaspoon by teaspoon or, based on what you need. So, like, I know that for my mother-in-law, at some time, I want to say it was like 15 milligrams 3 times a day was like the magic number for her. But then when wintertime would come, we would go down to 10 milligrams sometimes and then often work our way back up through the winter until wintertime was over. Because in the wintertime, the cold has a big effect on people with epilepsy and the nerves, because it kind of like shocks them when it goes into that cold. When it's either too hot or too cold, it gets shocked. So when it gets shocked, a seizure happens. So to manage those when the weather changes, it's important to manage your levels. So that's just something I wondered about your Kepprin. If it's not digesting, what are they going to do for it? And are they just putting you right back on what wasn't working before and monitoring to see if it works now? Because, I mean, your shoulder only happened because of the seizure. So, yeah. Just a thought.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. It was just a thought. I had a phone call that beeped in. I declined.
Fine, I was just...
But yeah, so it was just a thought about the Kepprin and Dilantin. But go ahead with your story real quick. Or I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just really had some questions with that.
No, I appreciate it. So I might end up pausing a couple times because of the GP burps.
Oh, that's totally fine.
So I'm gonna start off on about the seizures. Remember, is that what you were asking?
Well, yeah, I was just kind of basically asking about what was their actual plan for while monitoring your seizures, because that's what brought you into the hospital, not the shoulder and managing the pain of the shoulder. The shoulder is something that happened like along the way, and since the Kepprin wasn't digesting, did they switch your seizure meds, or do they plan on leaving you and just monitoring? Is that like actually what they're currently monitoring?
Yes. So right now we are still on the Keppra, and we are being monitored very closely.
Okay.
When I do get discharged, I do have an appointment to see an outpatient neurologist.
So when do you get discharged? I've been waiting to hear that, because I'm really kind of excited for you to get back home and get back to normal for you.
Yeah, me too. Right now, they're trying to get the potassium to cooperate because of the problem of me being very nauseous at times.
Okay.
Where that does not help the potassium, that makes it worse.
Yeah, because you can't throw up the meds you're taking.
No, because then how am I supposed to keep the birders or GP or anything at bay without being able to digest it?
Right.
So one thing I've noticed lately that so what I do is lately I've been buying, when I'm here I get the free insurance like I said.
Okay.
When I do go home, I will be changing my diet around. So in the morning, because I know that sometimes you wonder about the diet.
Yeah.
Because of GP, when I do go home, I will be, before I even get discharged, I will be ordering the intro clears and having it sent to my house. So when I do go home, I will be alternating from the intro clears to having a frozen drink to help with weight gain.
Okay, like a shake almost, or like a smoothie type of drink.
I don't know who has ever tried this, but like I was saying, the Ensure Clear, I have a bottle in front of me, a vial or whatever it is. So it's no fruit juice. It's literally the calories. You know how we need to watch our calories to gain weight?
Oh, yeah.
So in one carton, its serving size is one carton, 237 ml.
Okay.
Calories, you know how we are with not gaining weight. 240 calories. Trans fat, there's none. Saturated fat, there's none. And total fat, there's none. Cholesterol's less than 2. Sodium is 3%.
All right, so not a lot of salt either. Good for the kidneys.
Yep. And
So-
then they have total carbohydrates for people that are diabetic.
Oh, that's even awesomer because there's a lot of GP people that are diabetic.
Yep. So on this one, so I'm looking closely because you know how eye vision gets blurry. So for the total carbohydrates, I'm thinking it says 52 grams, which isn't that bad.
No, not at all.
Because there's
So-
people that are worse.
How is your rehabilitation going?
That's the thing I'm struggling with.
Well, why are you struggling? Let's talk about that. What can we do?
Okay, so one thing I've been struggling with is, so with my arm, I've been putting myself down because it's frustrating. It feels like even though I'm trying, my body's trying to reject me doing what I have to do.
Yes. I could see how
So-
that...
So it gets very down. Better way to put it.
Emotionally down, but this too shall pass. Remember that. And
Yes.
along the way, if you don't use it, you lose it. So you better use it. Okay? You
Yeah.
better get to that physical therapy. You better get back on it and do what you got to do, hon, because this is...
Yeah, I don't
Of
wanna
course,
go
letting it
down
heal,
that road.
though. You don't want to overdo it because it's also injured right now. But
Yeah.
I know when you first arrived and you guys were still trying to determine what was actually wrong, you didn't have any control of that whole arm at all, whether no feeling, no nothing. So the fact that the feeling's back, the fact that bruising is appearing now, and the actual normal healing process is taking place is all very positive things that you should be very proud. You've already come pretty far. You just got a little farther to go. And then this too shall pass. But you got to keep chucking. That's the important part.
Yeah, and the one thing that does help is feeling the word, like, I know people care about me, okay? I have plenty of people that love and care about me.
I'm one of them.
Yes, you are. But with this has helped me have a purpose.
Well, I'm happy to hear that because I would definitely love to have you on doing more live sessions like this on a regular. You're awesome. I love your vibe. I love how honest you are about how hard the life is that you're living. And, you know, God's blessing you each day. Sometimes we just don't see it. And I definitely feel like you're one of his little angels and he's got you.
Yeah. And, like, one good thing is with, depending on what kind of insurance people have, I'm going to go back to the Ensure Clear, because I know there is a lot of people on this group that is having trouble with gaining weight.
For sure. I also want to reach out to Becca Grohl and tell her about this because she's constantly trying to gain weight and find different items that are working for GP patients. So I definitely want to do a follow-up with her. It's been a little while since her and I've spoke. I want to do a follow-up with her and reach out. So if you're listening, Becca, reach out to me.
I have one idea.
All right, well, we will save those for after the show. How about that?
Yeah, it was about the girl that you just mentioned.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about other stuff like how you and I have talked off of air in the past. But that's perfect. Go ahead then. My bad.
No, it's all right. So what's her name again?
Becca Grohl.
Alright, so Becca, if you don't mind, contact me on Facebook. You can contact Trisha. Trisha can give you my information.
Yes, I definitely will.
I would like to do something with me, you, and Trisha, and do an update with you, and get to know you better, and be able to see if there's something we can do for our GP community.
Yes, the GP community definitely is going to come together for sure. And I love all of the girls and how often we all support each other. So yeah, I'm definitely excited. So at this point, I am going to be calling it a night, I believe.
Yeah.
It's getting late over here. I definitely appreciate you coming on Sprinkle Some Love with the Cause tonight and sharing your story and giving us an update on what's been going on with you, girl. You've been through a lot, and I just kind of want to ask you one more question before I let you go.
Of course.
Who's been your support system currently right now through this hospital visit? If they were listening, what would you say to that person?
Actually, there is one person, one of the people that has been supporting me. That is actually supporting me right through the podcast.
Okay.
I would like to thank you.
Really? Aw. Well, you're welcome. I am shocked that you chose me. They were kind of caught off guard, not so much of like shocked, but thank you. I appreciate that.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have the power to be able to do this podcast with you.
Aw. Well, I've watched you come through a lot, and you are very strong to me, and you're more inspiring to me, I think, than I am to you, or at least I would like to believe that, because I watch you struggle harder on a daily than what I could imagine, and you always come back. Like, you're so strong. I want you to know that, okay?
Yes. At this point, I will let you get some rest.
All right.
I'm actually going to be getting my meds soon for my pain and the nausea.
Alrighty. Probably Zofran.
So I will talk to you tomorrow if that is possible.
That is. So until tomorrow, I will talk to you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Sprinkle Some Love with a Cause. Until next time, I will talk to you then. Tomorrow night, we will be having the human... Okay, I forget how to say their long organization name, but we will be having a huge podcast going on over at the 420 Smoke Room if anybody is interested in that. But the Human National Ohio Chapter, I think it's Human International... I think I'm saying it wrong, but I posted it over there on the podcast information. Tomorrow night, they'll be on the show. And then Saturday on Sprinkle for Some Love with a Cause, we have a new guest who will be coming on, who has also been in the hospital and has gone through a tremendous amount of GP things. I can't wait to get her on the show on Saturday and discuss her trials and tribulations with you guys so she can share her journey. It's quite the story for sure. So, that's pretty much all the info I have. Also, join us on Relevnt if you're not already there. We would love to join you. You can also join us on open mic nights like similar tonight where anybody who's on could hop on and chit-chat with us if they so choose. Thank you, everyone. Bye, Kyley.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. And thank you, Trisha.
You're welcome. Bye, hon.
Bye.